One of the reasons you might be struggling with remembering vocabulary in the middle of a conversation is that you're skipping different stages of the learning process. And if you don't know what exactly to do and what to pay attention to so you remember vocabulary better, it's only because school never taught you how to do that, because in school what we learn is basically for short-term memory, so we can pass the test and then forget the words we learned. Fluency is something we need in the long term, so everything will automatically come out of our mouth without even thinking, which is why we with my students focus so much on building their long-term memory. Most struggling English students spend quite some time watching videos or listening to podcasts, but that's where they stop the learning process. They're not activating the vocabulary, so it's not just something that they understand in a movie, but also something they're able to use in a conversation without always thinking. Activation takes time and consistency, and this activation stage is what we eventually spend a lot of our time on in class, because that's what takes deep learning, a lot of brain work that people just don't want to dedicate time and energy to. So we spend a lot of our time answering questions about the vocabulary, something I already created a video for you about. Make associations, connections with other words or expressions or concepts that my students already know, because our brain is going to find it so much easier to remember when it can link new information to something that's already familiar to my students. And of course, the biggest thing, and most people don't realize how much power there is in practicing having conversations with other people so you can remember vocabulary in the long term, because remembering vocabulary requires what we call conditional memory. And that situational memory is what we need to train when we have a conversation with other people and we practice how to respond, practice what to say when we want to express certain things. Like, if I want to tell a story, I'm going to start saying things like, "No, you never guess what happened yesterday." Those who are serious about learning to speak English fluently don't just stop at understanding vocabulary by watching movies, spending hours and hours on social media, listening to an interview but never actually remembering vocabulary. They go beyond these shallow basic ways of learning, focus on activating that vocabulary so they remember them better, and eventually after lots of consistent practice they're able to pull them out anytime they want without thinking. That takes work.